How's it going, guys? This video is going to show you all how to do something that everyone in this game loves right now, which is making your stat page look really nice for a sweet screenshot that you can flex to all your friends. This is the exact opposite of how I make any builds, and I say in my tank guide that you should never worry about maxing all the stats and making them perfect at the cost of everything else. But fuck it, that's exactly what we're doing here today. And if you get some useful info out of this, I would appreciate it if you thought about hitting the thumbs up and subscribing. First off, I'll show you a quick clip of going into combat to get the stats screenshot for you guys, and then I'll show you how to make it happen. As you'll see, we'll be getting the defense, awareness, crit avoid, and deflect to 90%, which is capped. Deflect severity would make up the golden 5, but there are limited sources on the fighter, so I'm not too worried about that. Now here I am in a group with only one person, and there's a couple of things I tweaked that are beyond useless in the frame of running regular content that I did just to achieve this. But really the point of this video is for both sides of the coin. People who legitimately want to see how they can maximize their stats, and also to show the rest of the players that most of the time, when you see these flex builds, as I like to call them, they're pretty much always not efficient builds. Now, there's so many more things I could have done with this, plus there are different ways that you would do this with the other tanks. It's very, very easy, by the way, and there are lots of ways to do it. You can see that this is a pretty messy way of having wasted ratings and having stat procs that overlap and overcap a lot of these stats. But this isn't me flexing, as I've said. This is showing you all the available things that you can utilize to build stats. So a couple of the easy caps here that I didn't do. The first would be the Shadow Demon that shows capped deflect when you're just standing around with it equipped. So don't get tricked by tanks just standing around with capped deflect severity, because this is the easiest way to instantly cap a stat that doesn't really help you in any way, as it only works for a single hit every 20 to 30 seconds. And there you have it, capped deflect severity. The other thing is the Fighter Daily that gives 30% awareness and defense just for casting it. I judge this as unreliable in most content, as these are two defensive stats that you actually should focus on capping for more than just when you have your daily up. But it's an easy, quick 60% stats for that flex screenshot. I'm just going to go through and pretty much show everything here for you guys on the rest of the build. So first of all, you can see it's lower item level than max. The current max is like 61k, something around that, because of the mythic insignias and mythic collars. I don't buy any of that stuff because it's unnecessary. You don't need any of it to complete content fast and efficiently, so I'm probably not going to be upgrading those for a while. There's some cheesy things here. I mean, this is what the stat page looks like when you're not in combat, when you don't have everything procced, like I showed before. So just standing around, it doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it usually does. Just looking at the page here, some of the cheesy things we're doing is we're removing the offense enchants. That this helps, you know, lose some of the stats that you would be wasting by putting them into things that aren't going to look good on the screenshot, any of the defensive stats, and it brings the item level down, which makes the other ratings easier to cap, the defense ones. There are some potions that I used as well to get this. The old 10% deflect Caprizi, and then the Fohammer's elixir and the crafted potion of deflect. You can use any of these. I have some plus the +1 versions as well, which give you more deflect, which can help if you're looking for that rating. Also, in the video, the healer, Ava, had the boots on that give the team 1% defense, since I was just short on the defense for the screenshot, so that's also something that's added in there. I have these overloads in, the +5% crit avoidance and deflect chance overloads. And I also have HP in the other one just to add to that there. This helmet is one that I would actually use. And it also, if I would have casted my daily in the video, I would have got that extra 5% deflect severity, which I didn't do in there. I'm also running darks in the utility slots for more forte, which I would now run Azors for the run speed in this mod. This chest piece, I didn't get the bonus from it, unfortunately, because I wasn't in a full group, so I did it without that. So you can see some of these places where I would have been even more over the cap with extra stats. I would have had, you know, thousands more stats if I was in a full group, that sort of thing. The Eclipse enchant, which I typically wouldn't run in like Vault of Stars or anything like that, that adds 8% deflect. Is it 8% deflect? That adds to the character page. These Crag Scalar gauntlets from the new mini bosses, I wouldn't use these either. I'm never going to use something where I actually am losing movement speed for such a tiny amount of awareness. I put them on just because it helped push my stats up that tiny little bit at the end. You'll see in the video I actually casted another encounter and then went back into the stats page just to get that extra 0.5% awareness for the screenshot. And you can see here the offense slots are empty. Still just using assassins in the defense slot because it gives the most total defense stats with the deflect, crit avoidance, and awareness. I think here as well I have deflect severity, so that wasn't actually helping the 4 stats that I was showing capped. These boots are ones that I just put on recently as well that I just replaced the wisps with because they work the same, but it gives 10% crit avoidance, which look nicer on the stat page as well. This set is one that a lot of people run on the tanks, the diamond set. I would never recommend it because unless you're running like solo tanking Tom or something like that, where you need those extra stats, the extra threat gen, I'm not going to use those because I'm going to use a debuff set. I'm going to use a debuff set pretty much the whole time to give the extra damage bonus to the team. So I'm not really going to use this, but the 5% awareness helped with the screenshot. Keeping on this ring that I would always run in content anyway, but it gives a lot of defense. That was the reason I was just keeping it on. This ring gives a lot of crit avoid as well. The bonus, only working every 30 seconds to give you 5% deflect. That's also not something I'm going to rely on usually. That just was on there to help with getting the chance that the stats would proc high enough in the screenshot. And then that's pretty much it on the front page. I just have a shirt and pants that just give defensive stats. Just to help with that a little bit. In the powers here, I'll show the Bladed Rampart, which adds the 30% defense and awareness, the daily that I mentioned earlier. So that's one that's pretty easy to help with getting those stats to show up on the page. And when we go down here as well, you'll see when I dig in to give myself the extra... Where is it on here? Dig in for the extra 15% awareness. That's nice for the screenshot. And then also when you do that, it procs the 10% crit avoidance as well. Which those two, I'm not going to say that's, you know, that's not cheesy or anything because you are actually using dig in a lot and you can use it whenever you want. On the fighter, there's no cooldown on dig in like there is on the tab mechanic for the paladin or the barbarian. So this one is more reliable. You can actually, you know, you're okay with this extra 25% stats. I'll show you here with the screenshot because normally if you do this, dig in to go to the screenshot, it'll flick through everything. But if you just hold down LB first and then RB, it'll stay on the one you're on. So you can just switch it to the character sheet, hold LB, RB, and then you can go and have a look there and you can flick over to your stats. So it'll show you with the extra 25%. The boons here, I'm just using the awareness boon. You could use whatever you need to cap the stats. Some of these things I was swapping around, which I didn't usually use, like the offhand bonus and that sort of thing. Here, I obviously pick all the defensive stats in the boons, the forte, and then also I picked focus retaliation as well, which adds this a 6% deflect and deflect severity. So that was up there as well to try and help out with those procs, which I usually wouldn't run this either. I'd usually use Bloodlust just for the AP gain. And this defense reduction, if it worked, which last I checked, it doesn't work, but that would be what I would mainly use it for if it did. Oh, another thing with the boons is the glitched treasure hunter boon. You can hit the treasure hunter boon and you can put it on and off, and it will add like 800 stats to your combined rating. So that's also something that I usually can't be bothered ever doing, but something that people could use just to add it on for their screenshots or that sort of thing. For the companion, I actually use the Angel of Protection, which I would only really use if I was like solo tanking Tom or something like that, which adds the 5% defense down there. You could also achieve that if you change the race. The race that I'm using isn't ideal for maximizing those stats. I like it because of the HP that it gives and the group bonus and that sort of thing, but it's only 2% defense. You could get a 5% defense out of the dwarf or a 5% deflect severity out of the Dro, which is probably what I'll switch to now they've actually fixed the debuff on that, because it wasn't working for a while. I mean, this companion I also wouldn't usually run just because I'd be using a debuff companion. The companion enhancement as well, I'd be running armor break. I'm not going to be running something that increases just my stats for it. It's not really going to help anything, but once again, it helps with the screenshot, so I added on that 7.5% deflect severity there. The companion gear, just the same as usual. I think I swapped out a couple of these for deflect stones instead of crit avoidance, just for that screenshot, just for that sweet flex. The companions, I'm using 2 of these companions of the hall, the Regis and Brunor, because they give the most defensive stats now. Also in the offense slot, I would be running a Raptor as well, one of the Raptors, to help with the group bonus. I wouldn't be running these. And then just awareness and awareness deflect chance down here. Also, I would have been able to get more out of this if I ran the new mount that gives the forte, because that would also push up the defense and crit avoidance when you cast it. I didn't use a mount or anything for this, so that could have been something I did as well. And then all my insignias and everything I kept the same. I didn't have to balance any of these. And as you can see, no mythic insignias yet. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't matter even if I did have them, because they scale up the same. It's just adding more item level, and it's adding an equal amount of the stats to go towards it. Some of the other things I could have done as well, I could have casted the daily, like I said before, the defense of the awareness one, or if not, I could have casted it for the HP, so it would have made the max HP look nicer on the screenshot there. Also, just as a side note, I wouldn't really recommend actually capping crit avoidance completely. I'd recommend keeping it just below 90%, even if this is advice for if you're actually making a normal build. I wouldn't want to cap it completely, because there are some procs in the game that say on crit, like when you get crit, it procs things. If you get it over the 90%, nothing counts as a crit anymore. This was the last I heard. It converts everything over to just not ever crit. So you can't, even though normally you would assume that it would just reduce the amount that it crits by, it just makes it not crit at all. So it doesn't proc things like the wisp boots. Obviously, it wouldn't matter with these because you're already proccing them to get there. But if you were using the wisp of the Shadow Demon for the defense and the HP, and you had capped crit avoidance, you won't be able to proc them with that. Also, a couple of things I was missing. I'm pretty sure I didn't get the I didn't get kits on some of these pieces as well because the armor kits are broken at the minute. So that would have been something I would have done as well. Mostly a lot of, excuse me, a lot of just fine tuning the stats and everything. That's why a lot of the stats I had on the screenshot were, which you see here, a lot of them were overcapped on the ratings. Just because it was just a messy way of putting it together, you know. But you can definitely spend some time on it to make it look really, really nice. All the green numbers and everything, just to make sure it looks really crispy when you're flexing it in the Discord chats and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's about it for this build and this video. If you found this video useful, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions or have anything you would want to see in another video. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at iKokoum, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.